Happy morning, children. How are you all? I hope you're all well. So, welcome to your geography class. In the last video, we have discussed about important cities of South America. Yes? So, today we are going to talk about the physical features, rivers, and lakes in South America. So, are you all ready to explore? So, let's begin. So, in the chapter South America, location, area, political and physical features, we have already covered the political features. Yes? So, the topics for today are physical features of South America, rivers and lakes in South America. So, let's start with our first topic, that is physical features of South America. So, there are four physical features. The first one is West Coast Plain. Second, the Andes Mountains. Third, the Central Plains. And the last one is the Eastern Highlands. So let's talk about the West Coast Plain. So you can see here, this is a physical map of South America. So you can see all the physical features shown here. Okay, starting with the first, this green portion. Yes, between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Clear? So these are the coastal plains, or we call them as West Coast Plain. So the first physical feature is West Coast Plain. The second one is the Andes Mountains. So you can see right from the north to the south, okay, in the western part of South America, we have Andes Mountain. Clear? And the third, we have Central Plains. So this area, okay, between Andes and the Eastern Highlands. And the last physical feature is Eastern Highlands, which consist Guyana Highlands here and the Brazilian Highlands. Clear? So this is a physical map of South America. Now, the first physical feature, the West Coast Plain. The West Coastal Plains are narrow plains lying between the Pacific Ocean and the Andes Mountains in the western part of the South America. Yes? So you can see here, narrow coastal plains. Okay, this green colored area which is between Andes Mountains in the east and Pacific Ocean in the west. Clear? So this whole area is Western Coastal Plains. So what are coastal plains? Water on one side and land on the other side. Clear? So this is a very narrow plain lying between the Andes and the Pacific Ocean in the western part of the continent. This coastal plain extends along the entire length of the continent and its width varies. In Peru, where it is widest, the width is 80 kilometers, while elsewhere it varies between 10 to 15 kilometers. Clear? Now, the hot Atacama Desert lies in the coastal region across the Tropic of Capricorn in North Chile. Okay, so this is about the Atacama Desert, which is a desert plateau in South America on the Pacific coast running through Chile and Peru. Let's see the location of Atacama Desert. Yes, so you can see here this is Peru and this is Chile. So in between both, you can see this is Atacama Desert. Clear? Tropic of Capricorn is passing through it. Yes? Now let's try to understand why this area is a desert area. Okay? The Atacama Desert is the driest desert in the world. Let's try to understand why is it so. Yes? So look at the figure and try to understand why Atacama Desert is the driest desert. Yes, so we can see here location of Atacama Desert. Yes, and these are Andes Mountains. On the east we have Atlantic Ocean and on the west we have Pacific Ocean. So you can see here southeast trade winds. Yes, prevailing southeast trade winds coming from the Atlantic Ocean. What are these winds? These are monsoon winds. They bring the moisture from the Atlantic Ocean and they are responsible for the rainfall. So because of the presence of Andes mountain, these winds, they move upward. Yes. So what happens? Temperature is less there. So condensation occurs. First evaporation is occurring and then condensation starts. So cooling, condensation and rain on the windward slopes. So this side of the mountain is the windward side, okay, because monsoon winds are coming towards this direction. Yes. So what happens? All the moisture is poured in the form of rain. Clear? To the east side of Andes mountain. By the time these monsoon winds reach the western part of the Andes mountain, they become dry. Yes, so you can see here high pressure descending air warms and dries up. So this area becomes the rain shadow area, or we call it as leeward side of the mountain. Clear? So this is the rain shadow area. Clear? So no monsoon occurs here because it is on the leeward side of the mountain. Clear? Another reason is cold ocean current, okay, which is also crossing through this area. So these currents also prevent the rainfall. Onshore winds are chilled because of this cold ocean currents, so unable to pick up moisture. Clear? So this is the reason why Atacama Desert is the driest area, because rainfall occurs on the eastern side of Andes mountain and there is no rainfall on the western side of the mountains. Clear? Now let's talk about our next physical feature of South America, which is the Andes Mountains. Andes Mountains are located around the entire western coast of South America. The Andes mountain range is the longest mountain range on the earth. The Andes Mountains are a long, high, young-fold mountains that run parallel to the Pacific coast in the western part of South America. They are not one mountain range, but several parallel ranges with basins and plateaus between them. In Spanish, this mountain range is also often referred to as the Andean Cordilleras. The name Andes is believed to have come from the Quechan word anti, meaning copper. So, the Andes Mountains are a storehouse of mineral wealth. The name Andes was probably given because lot of copper is found here. So anti is a Quechan word meaning copper. Besides copper, other minerals such as gold, silver, tin, lead and platinum are also found here. In Spanish, this mountain range is called Cordillera de los Andes. The Andes Mountains form the backbone of South America, extending all along the west coast from Panama in the north to Cape Horn in the south for a distance of approximately 7,200 kilometers. It is the world's longest chain of mountains and the second highest mountain range above the sea level after Himalayas. Clear? There are a number of lofty peaks in the Andes, the highest peak being Mount Aconcagua, which is 6,960 meters. Some high peaks remain snow-covered despite being near the equator. Because of the great height, these mountains are very difficult to cross. The Uspallata Pass is one of the few gaps or breaks in this lofty mountain chain. Yes? So you can have a view of this beautiful mountain, Mount Aconcagua. Now let's talk about Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca is the second highest freshwater lake in the world, which is found here in the Andes Mountains. Yes, Lake Titicaca is a large, deep freshwater lake in the Andes on the border of Bolivia and Peru. So here is a beautiful Lake Titicaca. It is often called the highest navigable lake in the world. Now let's move to our next physical feature, that is Central Plains. The Central Plains are lowlands that lie between the Andes in the west and the eastern highlands in the east. The Central Plains are formed by the rivers Amazon, Orinoco, Parana, Paraguay and Uruguay. The region of lowlands, as its name suggests, lies in the center between the Andes in the west and the eastern highlands. The flat plains are formed by the rivers Amazon, Orinoco, Parana, Paraguay, and Uruguay. The Parana, Paraguay, and Uruguay collectively form the La Plata river system. In the north, Orinoco plains are referred to as llanos, which means plains in Spanish. South of the llanos, the Amazon lowlands are called the selvas. It is a region of dense equatorial forest. Further south, the temperate grassy plains of Argentina are called the pampas. The Parana Paraguay lowlands include the Gran Chaco, a vast alluvial region which is not drained well and becomes marshy during the rainy season. Okay, so this is all about central plains. Now let's move to the last physical feature of South America, which is Eastern Highlands. The Eastern Highlands consist of the Guyana Highlands in the north and the Brazilian Highlands in the south. So you can see here. Okay, so these are the Eastern Highlands consisting of Guyana Highlands and Brazilian Highlands. Clear? The Guyana Highlands and the Brazilian Highlands form the Eastern Highlands. These two highlands are separated by the Amazon River. These highlands extend in the eastern part of the continent along the Atlantic coast. Okay, we know we have Atlantic Ocean in the east. The eastern highlands rise steeply in the east from the Atlantic coast and are gentler in the west, where they slope towards the central plains. They are much lower in height as compared to the Andes. Unlike the young-fold Andean mountains, the eastern highlands are composed of old hard rocks. Clear? In the region between 40 degrees south and 50 degrees south in Argent in the region between 40 degrees south and 50 degrees south in Argentina lies a cold desert called the Patagonian Desert. So, Patagonian Desert is located primarily in Argentina and is bounded by the Andes to its west and the Atlantic Ocean to its east. So now let's try to understand why this area is a desert. Okay, so you can see the location. So this is the location of Patagonian Desert. Yes, it comes in the rain shadow area. Yes. So you can see here the prevailing winds are coming from which ocean? Pacific Ocean. So this becomes the windward side, okay, of the Andes mountain, and maximum rainfall occurs. So as these monsoon winds are being blocked by the Andes mountains, so this becomes the leeward side of the Andes mountain, okay, the east side. So we call it as a rain shadow area. So this is how Patagonian Desert has been formed, because there is no rainfall as it comes in the rain shadow area of Andes mountains. Clear? So here we have covered all the four physical features of South America. Now the next topic which we have is rivers in South America. So we will talk about some important rivers in South America, which are Orinoco, Magdalena, Amazon, and the last is La Plata river system. So you can see here a map showing the rivers of South America. This is Orinoco, this is Magdalena, then we have Amazon, yes, down we have Parana, Paraguay, Uruguay. Okay, so let's talk about these in detail. First of all, let's talk about the Orinoco River in the north. The Orinoco River, which is 2,400 kilometers long, flows from the Guyana Highlands towards the Atlantic Ocean in Venezuela. The Angel Falls, the world's highest waterfall, is formed by the tributary of the river Orinoco. Okay. The river Magdalena, so this is the river Magdalena in Colombia, runs parallel to the Andes Mountains and drains northwards into the Caribbean Sea. Okay, so here we have Caribbean Sea. Then the Amazon River. The Amazon River, which is 6,400 kilometers long, rises in the Andes Mountains and flows eastwards, okay, this direction, across the widest part of the continent. It is fed by thousands of tributaries that join it and by daily heavy equatorial showers. Therefore, this river carries the largest volume of water in the world. The Amazon is navigable by ocean-going liners up to Manaus. Then we have the La Plata River System. The La Plata River System is formed by the Paraguay, Paraná and Uruguay. Clear? These rivers flow southwards and drain into the South Atlantic Ocean in a wide estuary in Argentina, which provides an excellent harbor. There are only a few lakes in South America. This is Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca is situated on the high plateau of Bolivia. Then we have one lake here, which is Lake Maracaibo. It is in Venezuela, which is very important for mineral oil deposits. Clear? Now look at this picture, Angel Falls. Angel Falls are located in Venezuela and are famous for being one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. The Angel Falls waterfall is the tallest waterfall in the world. The highest point of the Angel Falls waterfall is 3,212 feet. Now let's talk about the Amazon River. The longest rivers in South America begin in the Andes, drain the Central Plains, and flow into the Atlantic Ocean. The Amazon River begins in the Peruvian Andes, flows 4,000 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. The Amazon River carries the largest volume of water in the world. There are 1,000 tributaries that flow into the Amazon. Yes? So you can see here, this is Amazon River. Okay? So we know these are the Andes Mountains. So it starts from here and cover the widest part of South America and opens into Atlantic Ocean. Clear? So this is Amazon River and this vegetation is called Amazon rainforest. Yes? So this is the river system called Rio de la Plata or La Plata, formed by the rivers Paraná, Paraguay and Uruguay. Clear? Now let's see the location of Lake Maracaibo. It is in Venezuela. This is the lake. Yes, Maracaibo is the name of the city also. Now why Lake Maracaibo is important? Yes, this is the oil capital of South America. Oil development began in 1918. Tankers of between 15,000 and 25,000 barrels of oil made up to 10 round trips per month. It supports 20,000 fishermen. Yes, so that is why Lake Maracaibo is very important. Clear? So yes children, have you understood the topics covered so far? So that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.